we must not just look at them. We must not just look at them as merely social media and communication drivers or platforms. We must look at them as part of the critical web of the drivers of the fourth industrial revolution that will define the future of the world. And the technology around social media, coupled with big data, and that's why data has become a critical feature in development discussions around the world. Artificial intelligence, which is making big inroads in terms of shaping the way we do our things in the future, and the Internet of Things that wants to connect technological applications to provide integrated solutions to the problems of the world. Mr. Chairman, Kenya has made a lot of inroads, as I have said, in social media, including TikTok, adopting technology for social, commercial, and other reasons. And among the social media platforms which have provided an ubiquitous connectivity is TikTok. And what these social media platforms have done and avenues of communicating is that they have dissolved the traditional way of communication. And that's why around the world, print media, electronic media is in severe distress, commercially speaking, because the social media platforms have hived off a huge portion of the space that was being utilized by print media, that is newspapers, and communication through electronic media, television, and a bit of radio. And many media houses are trying to interface the way they've been communicating now and bringing in digital and media products. Otherwise, in a short while, that space will not be available. And earlier, those who are in that industry realize that reality, the better. I don't see the newspaper space, the television space as an avenue of public communications having a very long future in the world. So our traditional way of communications has changed. Before, people read a newspaper because today's proceedings of your committee, Chair, will be reported in our newspapers tomorrow, ordinarily, traditionally. But what the newspapers have done now is to try and have something in the middle. They have online stories which they can file later today. But even before they do that story, these proceedings, possibly somebody is watching it live as it happens on social media. So there is that reality that the social media platforms, including the content on TikTok, will take away the space that has been occupied by traditional methods and platforms of communication. Honorable Chair, the platforms that are taking this space is TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Telegram, and another one called Signal, among others. Kenyans have embraced, keeping in touch, sharing information, and even planning their events through social media. Organizations also are using social media all these platforms to market their brands and also to communicate to their customers and clientele. Social programs like social events, funerals, weddings, and so forth are also taking place in this space. However, Chair, the huge, and perhaps before I go to the however bit, it is also important to just also say from where we stand, the commercial and economic value presented by social media platforms, including TikTok, is immeasurable. It is huge, expansive, and transformative. I will not belabor the committee because they, as honorable members, know that there are people making a huge fortune through the content that they create and control on social media platforms, including TikTok. Huge amounts of money, which the finest architects, engineers, lawyers, doctors will never make that amount of money. Content creation and content control on social media platforms, including TikToks. So we are looking at an emerging economic sector, which both the technology around it and the business, commercial, and economic potential it is creating will underpin the fourth industrial revolution and the future of the economics of the world. And that is the reality. However, Mr. Chairman and members, despite these immense opportunities in business, commerce, economics, communications, connectivity, and efficiency in the way we do things, the social media space, including TikTok, presents grave dangers to the world and to our society today. No part of the world is immune from the risks that this space and this platform poses to our way of life, to the social fabric, and even to public safety and security of the people of the world. Honorable Chair, this platform, including all the social media platforms, including TikTok, now have become a possible and real, not really a possible, but a real theater for misuse by criminals to endanger public safety and security. TikTok and other social media platforms are increasingly being used to spread malicious content, which is illegal, unlawful, and a violation of fundamental rights and freedoms. Chair and members, TikTok and other social media platforms are increasingly being used to also generate propaganda, including propaganda for war. Terrorist groups, including the famous ones in our corner, Al-Shabaab and others, are using social media platforms, including TikTok, to generate propaganda for war and also to generate the propaganda to advance the ideology of terror and so forth and so on, including real or even concocted terrorist activities that are posted on these platforms to spread fear to communities, to populations about the invincibility of the terrorist organizations. And it's happening across the world. A major platform for propaganda for war, but also malicious and unlawful content in this space. Chair, this space is also being used to steal, hijack, and control popular accounts. If a person is a popular account holder of a TikTok account, they risk hijack, control, and hacking of their accounts. And this has presented security managers around the world with tremendous law enforcement challenges. The stealing of personal accounts, hijacking them. Some even ask for ransom as a way of releasing their accounts back to their owners. This hijacking and stealing of accounts also has embarrassed public officials, celebrities, high-profile individuals, including business people and high net worth individuals. This space of social media, including the TikTok space, is also being used to dupe the people of Kenya and the people of the world into fake and unlawful commercial transactions, including luring the people of Kenya and the people of the world to fake foreign exchange trade business opportunities, fake job recruitment programs that end up conning members of the public in Kenya and across the world. The biggest challenge, however, is on the violation of the privacy and dignity of the people of Kenya through the use of this space to generate offensive sexual content, including spreading pornographic material and also exposing children to pornographic content and unlawful, inappropriate sexual content. This TikTok space and other social media spaces and platforms have been used to post intimate images, especially through the live feature. The live feature of TikTok is being used as a platform of circulating offensive, intimate images, some of it maliciously posted there, some of it deliberately posted there, and this has exposed especially our children into early exposure to destructive content in the pornographic and sexual space. These risks, as I have enumerated them, Chair and members, pose severe distress in our society. The risks pose severe social distress to users of TikTok. It also exposes minors to inappropriate content and also promotes social discord for the reasons which I have explained. What is the government doing about this? Chair and members, we have one of the most robust data management and data control laws anywhere in the world. And if anybody doubted the modernity and the the sophistication of our legal regime, they will see how, for example, we reacted to the WorldCoin matter, and therefore what we need to do besides the proposed adjustments of the existing law is actually to enforce the existing law. If it is well enforced, we have a very robust legal system. And therefore, the current law, which is the Data Protection Act of 2019, as supplemented by the Data Protection Regulations, require data controllers and data processors, including now TikTok, because TikTok falls in the category of data controllers and data processors. They are required under the laws of our country to comply with various compliance obligations under the Data Protection Act and the Data Protection Regulations. The compliance requirements include implementing data protection deliberately. And this includes implementing the data protection principles in an effective manner, integrating and implementing appropriate technical and organizational measures to protect personal data and register, and they are also required to register as data controllers or data processors with the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner. We as government also, through the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner, have contacted TikTok. The government of Kenya is in contact with TikTok, and we have raised concerns relating to the way TikTok is processing their data related activities. In particular, the government of Kenya has requested from the owners and operators of TikTok to provide to us the levels of compliance with our laws, namely the Data Protection Act and the Data Protection Regulations. We have also asked them to explain to us the measures that they are taking or they intend to take to ensure the privacy of individuals is respected in accordance with the laws of our country. At the moment, we are not satisfied that there is compliance. We are waiting for the explanation from TikTok. We as government have also requested or required TikTok to demonstrate to us their compliance with the requirements of all the laws of Kenya relating to data protection. We have also required them to provide details of the effectiveness of age and verification and content filtering processes. If at all they have any age verification and content filtering procedures as they run that platform. We have also asked them, chair and members, to tell us what they are doing to implement Kenya-specific supplemental terms in the privacy policy, considering the provisions of our laws. In other words, we have asked them how they are customizing their data processing in the TikTok platform to comply with the law of our country. The government has also required TikTok to demonstrate full compliance, and it's only after that demonstration that we'll also require them to register with the Office of Data Commissioner of the Republic of Kenya as data controllers and data processors going forward. Thank you, Honorable Chair and members. The question you pose defies a simple answer. It's a complex matter there, and the balances. You have given the example of the Chinese authorities and how they control, and there's a little matter that this app could have originated from there, and then but still they are requiring a lot of control around it, and I don't see any contradiction there, because you can create something that brings problems, and it doesn't mean if you create something and then it brings unintended consequences, you don't control it. Could be a honest scientific and technological mistake. It has happened in many other places where a laboratory experiment has gone haywire, and what you do as a honest and responsible government of any country is that you still have to deal with those consequences before they harm the population, notwithstanding that you are the creator of that technology. I don't see any contradiction there. But I agree with you, Chair, that, for example, in that country, they have stricter controls, even on other platforms like WhatsApp and so forth and so on. And thirdly, the issue you raise about policy on who and how do we allow that platform to be used is a valid question, which right now is active before the National Security Council. As you are aware, our Ministry in Interior coordinates the cyber security program of the country under the NC4 arrangement, that is the Cybercrime and Security Coordination Committee, which brings together Ministry of Defense, ourselves first, and when I say ourselves, it's the police and NIS, and then defense, and then ICT people to be able to guard our cyberspace. This matter is so complex and so consequential that, and remember, Chair, as I started by placing this problem in the fourth industrial revolution, deliberately, just to show how complicated and how it's not easy for us to just look one way and say, let's decide this. Now, traditionally, national security has been viewed as operating within three spaces: the land, that is all the territory within the borders of the country; the sea, for those countries that are coastal; and the airspace of the country. That is the traditional way of national security. And if you look, for example, at defense arrangements for Kenya and defense arrangements for the world, you have the army to protect the land. You have the Air Force to protect the airspace of the country, and the Navy to protect the shoreline for any risks emanating through the sea. Today, a fourth space called the cyberspace is the theater of risk. And therefore, going forward, we should invest in internal security and defense arrangements that creates a fourth defense tier maybe not as part of the military, but we need both military and internal security expertise and technology people to provide the fourth arm of our country's defense, and that is the arm that will defend our cyberspace. The potential of that space to hurt the country is big, but as I've said again, the potential and the potential and the irreversibility of the cyberspace and its contribution to our national development going forward is again undeniable. So as you process this petition, I want to invite you with a lot of humility, not only to look at the quick fixes of what we need to do and seal whatever loopholes exist at the moment, but have a long-term, comprehensive, and wholesome look at things and help the country beyond banning or not banning TikTok, so that we have a cyber security solution, because the threat is real and big, the opportunities, potential, and irreversibility is also real big. And that's all I can say for now. We will be keenly waiting to hear what this committee will be recommending, and I'll be more than happy to come and engage again and get the assurance from me and my colleagues in the Interior Ministry. Cyber security and technology, ICT technology threats are as big a priority as our other priorities on the defense of our land and also our borders, even as we collaborate with our brothers in the Ministry of Defense. I submit.
Thank you, Waziri. I think we are coming to a close of this engagement. I will ask if there is no banning issue, we could request the CS to make now a submission, a final remarks, his final remarks procedurally, so that then it appears like we have concluded, so that we don't have it connecting with the questions that we did ask. Waziri, you have the floor for the next few minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Chair and honorable members, I want to thank first the petitioner who brought this petition before Parliament. Secondly, to thank Parliament and particularly the Public Petitions Committee for prioritizing this petition. Honorable Chair, this petition raises very grave issues, and the issues that this committee is faced with in terms of making a determination are issues that are at the heart of the security and safety of our people. The platform of TikTok is a platform that brings huge benefits for Kenya and the world. Commercial benefits, social benefits in terms of ease of communicating, but also assisting corporates and even public officials to engage with members of the public. However, besides these benefits, there are grave dangers posed by this platform and other platforms within the cyberspace. We are in active engagement with the owners of this platform, and soon we will be triangulating all the information available and making certain decisions for the interest of the country. Honorable Chair and members, the cyberspace presents a major place where the country can be hurt and the members of the public can be hurt, including our children. And therefore, we have prioritized it where it belongs. And I want to report to you and to the country that this matter of how we can strengthen our cyber space is an active agenda of the National Security Council. We want to invite your contribution, your recommendations, and we'll be very happy to implement the recommendations of this committee. And together, between the executive and the two houses of parliament, we should guide the country in creating the legislative, policy, and administrative framework that will protect the country from any threats that are posed by the use of the cyberspace. I want to thank you